more about it from people around campus, or do you talk about that stuff within yourself?
I think that it's almost one of those things that all the coaches try to use to get you hyped up for the week, so you practice well. I think it's something that, of course, the fans are always looking forward to. You know, when a big game comes along, the fans get hyped, the attention gets drawn to the team more. But it's just one of those situations where, you know, we realize it's just another game, but at the same time, it's kind of funny because more people will say that, you know, this rivalry may be even stronger than the Auburn rivalry. You know, I've only been around here for so long, so I had never grew up in Alabama, so, you know, I really don't know the implications of it, but from what I can tell, it's a pretty big game. I'm just, you know, looking forward to have a chance to finally get, I guess, my one game in this rivalry.
Beyond the hype around this game, there's certainly, now that you guys are moving up the ranking level, how do you think this team's handling all the success that you guys have had so far?
You know, that's what I was saying. The funniest thing is that you really don't – a lot of us never really talk about the rankings, and it's something that's almost obscure to us because, you know, Saban gets you in this sort of routine where, you're just trying to survive week to week with, you know, the practices and the schedule and things like that. But at the same time, you realize that one loss, you know, changes your schedule. And if you don't focus on this one game as just this is the top-ranked team in the nation that you're playing against, then you sort of lose sight of what you're trying to shoot for. You know, he always says that, you know, they love you is based on the implication that you win. And as soon as you lose, they don't love you anymore. So that ranking is only subject to week and game to game. And, you know, Florida certainly didn't lose a game, and somehow we jumped them, and they've been ranked number one all season. So it's sort of one of those things where the ranking is just something they throw on you, and it could quickly leave you just as quickly as it came to you. So it's something where we just focus on week to week, game to game, and if we handle that, then hopefully at the end of the season you still keep that number one ranking. And I think that's what it comes down to, and I think that's just like a testament to what Saban preaches as a coach as a whole, because you know, when he's able to run his program like that, you really have no, you know, thought of rankings. It's just about trying to play to the best of your ability.
I want to talk about the movie that Coach Saban played for you guys on Friday night and what you took away from that.
That was a tremendous movie. You know, you hear about LeBron James, this tremendous athlete, but then you don't really know a lot about LeBron James as maybe the person, the human being. But when you see a movie like that, it's, you know, it brought me back to my high school days, because I remember when I was in high school, you know, I don't know if y'all seen it, it's called More Than a Game. It's basically about his high school experience with a bunch of his best friends and how that bond of friendship basically allowed them to win a championship. And it also showed how when they got too egotistical, didn't think that they needed to work as hard as they were working, that they lost everything. And I think you take away the fact that, you know, this is a family that we're playing with, and when one person's doing bad or when one person's doing good, it's part of the family as a whole. And at the same time, if you start thinking that, like you said about the ranking, if you start thinking that, hey, we're number one, then you lose sight of really what the goal is. And it's to be number one at the end of the season, just not to be it for a week. And I think it was an awesome movie to see. I think it's something that really leveled a bunch of people and grounded a bunch of people, just in the fact that you realize that LeBron James and his team that was ranked number one for so long could lose a game. And, you know, just same with us. You can go against, you know, any team, any week, and you can lose a game. So I'm just glad I was able to see it. You know, so big props to LeBron for sending it to Coach.
Coach mentioned number one ranking could cause you to play not to lose. Why won't you?
You know, that's, I guess, I think it's because more people are scared to have that ranking, so they, instead of playing almost carefree, you know, because when you see teams who come in there like Purdue against Ohio State, they had nothing to lose, and it's almost like Ohio State may have been scared to lose that game against a team or something of that nature. And I think that comes down to the fact that some people, when they get titled a number one or a number two, they're scared of losing that ranking. But I think the biggest thing with Coach Saban is that we never really seem to feel that we're ranked high. And I think that's like a testament, like I said, to him. And at the same time, it allows you to play, I think, just with a sense of ease. Because when we go out there, it's not about trying to, you know, lose a game. It's always about trying to win a game. And it's always about trying to impose our will on someone. It's more of, with each game, I mean, most of these games this year, I feel like our team's gone away unsatisfied with the win we've got because we didn't play the way that we wanted to, or we didn't play the expectations that we set for ourselves. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that each week we're always striving to play better. And I think that we see that, you know, we messed up this week on this, or these are some things, and it's something about trying to tie it in together. And hopefully, you know, everything will start clicking at the right time, and we'll be able to keep rolling. But, you know, with us in general, I just think it's about us trying to go out there and play Alabama football.
I can avoid that, I I guess, a red zone mental block? Because if there's anything anybody can point at, it's that you getting all jumbled up and like, what do we do? How are we going to not score and all that?
You know, it's something that I think may bother some of us on offense just because we understand the weapons that we have and the capability that we have, and it's something that right now seems to, you know, stuck us these past 2 games. But at the same time, I don't think it's something that's really going to stop us from performing. I think it's something, if anything, it's going to give us motivation to work harder to make sure that, say, hey, this is something that we were having difficulties and a problem, and it's something that we really want to capitalize on and be able to, you know, keep moving and progress on. So, in that nature, I think that we're just looking forward to getting back in the red zone next game, you know, several times hopefully, and scoring all those. And like I said, it's playing up to our expectations. And one of the things with Coach McElwain, he's a tremendous offensive coordinator, is that every time you get in the red zone, you know, it's to score. You know, I always joke around at practice. I'll call the red zone. I call it the bread zone because that's where you're getting your money at. So, you know, that's in practice when we go in there. I say, hey, if I was saying the red zone, this is the bread zone. We're trying to make money here, but. You know, I think that's what it's coming down to us, and you know, we have to put that on our shoulders really as an offense. You know, because coaches can call the plays, but it's the players who got to execute them. And I think that's something that I have a chip on my shoulder for, and I think that the rest of our offense as a unit has a chip on their shoulder for. So hopefully we can prove that these next couple of weeks.
Last question here to Brad. Hey, Colin, quickly talk about Mark Ingram. He's been a guy who's been executing and kind of carrying the load.
Oh my God, Mark Ingram. Where you start with this kid? He's a phenomenal athlete, tremendous person. And it's funny because I was talking to him today at lunch about it. Mark Ingram is one of those players that's after the end of the game, you're like, God, Mark had a good game. And you're like, you know, how many yards? Maybe 120, 130. And they're like, he had 246 yards. You're like, God, did he really have 246 yards? Because he does it quietly. I think he grinds all game. It's one of those things where you see him take some big hits and some low hits, and he goes out for a play, get a breather, and he's back in there for the next 6 carrying the ball. You know, he's a workhorse for us, and I think that's, you know, a testament to himself, and he's just a phenomenal athlete in general. And I think it's just we forget how great of an athlete he is and great a person he is, that when we see him break those long runs and break all these tackles, that you just expect that from him, and you sort of forget how special that is to have a player like that on your team. And I think we have a tremendous core of running backs, and Roy Upchurch, Trent Richardson, who's done phenomenal things, Terry Grant. So, you know, I think those also tie in to help Mark become a better, you know, running back in general by helping him get some rest. But as a player, I'm just thankful that Mark's getting the recognition he deserves because he's done a phenomenal job for us all year.